What's going on, fam? It's your boy KP, and I'm back with another video. All praise and credit due to the Most High God and His Son, Yeshua HaMashiach, King Yahusha. Trying to tell y'all, King Jesus, the greatest one to ever do it. So, as some of you know, let's see, what's the title of this video going to be? Title of this video is going to be Out of YouTube Jail and Status Updates. All right, Ken, so what do you mean out of YouTube jail? The last live stream I had, I got a YouTube strike and the video was deleted. So the reason they gave was giving medical information. So pretty much to sum it up, you're not allowed to say anything that is against the King of Babylon in modern day, the World Health Organization. You're not allowed to say anything in contrary to what they have said. So basically, you're not allowed to have any opinion that's in contrary. You guys see where I'm going with this. So they call it medical information. And, at times I'm a human being like all of you guys. I get frustrated with the state that this world is in, but it's never that long of a period before God provides revelation and makes sense of everything that's happening. I'm like, oh, okay, medical information. He reminded me about my trip behind the veil, where I was behind the veil and I saw all the kingdoms of this earth, like the medical kingdom, the food kingdom, education kingdoms, financial kingdoms, political kingdoms, things like that. And if you really think about why King Jesus was crucified, he was crucified for religious misinformation, right? If anybody has some examples other than the ones that I'm saying off the top of my head, write them in the description. But, he got accused of all kind of stuff. This man says he can forgive sins, but only God can do that. So, that was religious information. You said it was lawful to heal on the Sabbath day. That's religious information. It was always an accusation of religious misinformation. They come to Jesus and they try to trip him up saying, is it lawful to give tribute to Caesar? It was always trying to catch him up in religious information. And ultimately, he was crucified for the false religious kingdom of religious misinformation. But getting that YouTube strike reminded me of all those kingdoms I've seen. All the kingdoms I've seen, like on the education. So I can make a video about what is education misinformation. How I saw the financial kingdom. So I can make a video about what is financial misinformation. How I saw the political system. What is political misinformation? Education system. What is education misinformation? So I forget what scripture it is. It's in Genesis, though. For what the devil meant for bad, God meant it for good. So getting that is a way I can just parable and say the same thing. One thing's about God's truth, when you understand it, it's true in every situation. And imagine living in a world where you cannot have any opinion that's contrary. So, that's really trying to push the spirit of God out of you. So basically, somebody knows better about you than you, even when it concerns your life, and even when your thoughts will only affect you. It's, that's really what the Matrix is. It's about controlling the way you think. And, just today, when I was just getting ready to come up here and make an update, because I got a couple other videos I got to make, a couple of other revelations I received. But when I was thinking about making this one, I remember For those of you guys who don't know, I was special ops in the Air Force air crew. So I flew many combat missions, and I served for almost 10 years before I was medically retired. So I just wanted to put that out there before I say that. But I can remember in kindergarten, right? I was 4 years old or 5 years old. I started when I was four. And, you know, shortly after kindergarten started, I turned 5 years old. But I remember feeling so uncomfortable and not wanting to do the Pledge Allegiance over your flag. I still remember it. I'm like kind of scarred from it. Place your right hand, turn towards the flag, place your right hand over your heart, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the Republic. I remember doing that as a kid and not wanting to do it. I wouldn't say it out loud. I would be like lip singing it in kindergarten. And then, man, the Most High is so cold. It's like, so then he showed me this today. So then I fast forwarded and I'm in the military, right? 18, 19 years old, whatever. And I remember, sorry guys, I'm walking around the pool up here on the floor. I do that when the Most High is talking to me. I walk in circles. But I remember being in the military. You have to take this oath, right? How like the Most High God says, do not swear by anything. Nothing in heaven, nothing earth, nothing in heaven, nothing under the earth, and not even the earth, because it is his footstool. So you have to take this oath where you swear to get in the military. And I remember every day at the base, it was either like at 4:30 or 5 o'clock. They would play. I forget what the music is called. Any of you guys served in the military, go ahead. But it's like when they're lowering the flag. They would lower the flag, and wherever you were at on base, you had to stand. You had to stand and face the music and basically worship the music. And I got to reading in Daniel. They made this statue today after the Most High gave that to me. I got to reading in Daniel where King Nebuchadnezzar built that statue, and he said, like, I'm gonna play all this music. My band is gonna play this music, and if you don't fall down and worship the image of this beast, we're gonna throw you in the fiery furnace. And it just got me to thinking. It got me to thinking about like, why am I, when I was in the military, why am I obligated to humble myself? That's what it is. It's basically putting everything you got aside, like humble yourself before this God, which is a flag, and this music, which doesn't breathe. They're playing this music through loudspeakers, mind you. There's not even like a band. And you have to pretty much bow down. Bowing, humbling, it's the same thing. You have to bow down and worship this music. You have to worship it. And then when it's over, you can, come out of attention and continue walking to your car. And, that's what satanic, that's what Illuminati, Freemasonry, Illuminati programming is about. It's about getting your allegiance and your agreement into something that you don't agree with. Like, I look back on it, like that never had nothing to do with flying combat missions. I mean, I know what it has something to do. It has something to do with getting you to worship something that isn't the living God. And you would do it daily. It's conditioning. And it's to get people to blindly follow something. Like if you look at no country is perfect. But like today, if I'm being honest, I know they're all satanic in nature. There isn't a country in this world that's currently under the control of Yahweh's chosen. But considering the history of the United States, like shouldn't in freedom, right? They always say it's the most free country on earth. Like considering the things now, whether you believe them, like I have my own perception of spiritual things and of time, so I see the world differently. But just on the history that the United States teaches in schools, like these things happen. We did these people like this. Yeah, we killed all these Indians. Like that's just because how we get down. Yeah, we treat some citizens like this. We treat other citizens like this. Like, shouldn't you, if it's really the freest country, shouldn't you have a choice whether you would want to worship that idol of a flag or not? And I know there's probably going to be some attackers, right? Because the Matrix always attacks with sound bites. Well, you're just not patriotic. Da, da, da. I'm sure there's some bubblegum Christian on here who wants to attack me right now. But like the truth is, I was in an elite unit, special ops. So I unless you're like a fighter pilot, you ain't flown many or more combat missions than I have, or have the amount of combat flight hours I have. So, but there's always going to be some of them. What do you call it? Non-player characters in the Matrix that just want to come and attack. You're just not patriotic. No, not patriotic. You know, you can say whatever you want, but I'll put my actions of things I have done up against anybody who says that. You know, it's the same thing, man. I realized that when I was in Thailand, they're like, make sure you worship the king. I'm like, first off, I don't even know this dude. Like, why am I? We're in a movie theater. I came to the movies to watch a movie. You think I got cheese popcorn all over my hand because when I walked in and checked the movie times, it says at this time you will worship the king. No, I wanted to see a movie. Why are you got this? Why you got this stuff on in the beginning of the movie so people can humble themselves before the Thailand king? Like, look, man, if you want to do that, do it. If not, not. But here's the moral of the story. If you don't give Satan your attention and you don't worship him, you know, if you don't have your back to the Most High God, you may actually see something or hear something that he's saying to you. So Satan wants your undivided attention. We're just at a point in this world, man, to where like really I can't even have fun anymore. Like like the amount and let me make sure I clarify and put that in context. Like ever since my awakening, I've never seen the world the same way. Like I've never watched sports. Like I've never watched sports in my life. Like never watched the Super Bowl. Like, oh, it's the NBA finals. Like I've never been into none of that. So like all the trivial matrix stuff that occupies people's time, like I was born not liking a lot of it. And then since my awakening, I find even less things enjoyable. Like it's hard for me to be entertained by a movie unless I can see the spiritual thread and the underlying meanings within the movie. Like when I was in the Matrix, I was always driven by goals. I can remember I remember my first degree, associate's degree. I was proud of myself. I remember my undergrad degree in aeronautics. I was like, man, I got a bachelor's degree. I remember getting my master's degree in business administration. I'm like, man, I got an MBA. I remember graduating pilot training and being like, man, I can fly planes. I remember owning a business. I remember, you know, being young and investing in the stock market and making a lot of money. But today, knowing the truth, man, none of that stuff matters. I don't even have an interest to do it. Well, you can make some money. Like, and do what? Like, I know money's not even real. And that's another thing. Like, I'm going to make a video, another video. I've already said this in a video before, but I need to make it in another video about what is financial misinformation. I always tell people, like, I try to put it in simple terms, but people refuse to meditate on something like that. And it's always somebody with a job. It's always somebody that's working that tells me I'm the wrong one, and why I should continue to be a slave like them in the system. It's like, look, man, the only real things, I'm gonna say it again in short: dollars, euros, pesos, Thai baht. That stuff isn't real. The only real things are natural resources and labor. Well, what do you mean, Ken? And I wish if more people got this through their head, they would get free from the matrix. They would get free from the matrix and not have to be a part of that system. But they hang on to it because they were born into it. So what do you mean dollars are not real? So if you think about it, so the only real things are natural resources. I'm gonna just do the video. It's coming out right now. Screw it. The only real things are natural resources, labor, and territory. That's how you control a kingdom. All right, well, Ken, give me an example. Like, I don't understand. Like, if you don't have money, you can't go to the store and get things. You need money to live. Like, yeah, it's a satanic system, but once your mind has been elevated above the system, you're not under the dominion of that system. Like, God will make a different way for you. So I've been watching. I've been so bored. I rewatched all the seasons of Power. Yeah, the one with 50 Cent. And I watched all 6 seasons in the past week. I think, or the past week and a half. But if you think about it along those lines, about all there is natural resources, labor, and territory, which makes a kingdom. So if you think about a drug kingpin, what does he control? He controls the natural resource, the coke, right? The cocaine, and then he controls the labor, his crew, his army, and then he controls a certain amount of territory. So they call him a kingpin because he's got his own little kingdom. So when you think about every country, right? When you think about these countries, there's a reason. Like, if dollars were real, you would be able to take all of yours to another country and then just spend them. But you can't, because it's got to be controlled. You can only take this much on the plane, or you're going to get in trouble. That's because if you have like too much more than that, you might be able to make a positive change. So think about it this way: if you want to, if you bought 20 acres of land and you wanted to secure it, you wanted to hire security, you needed 20 security guards. You would have to pay them all out of your pocket. You would have to either dip into your savings, have a high enough income where you could pay 20 workers, and you would have to work, have made a return based off of your work, based off of your labor and investments. Or you would have to give up some of the things you possess to provide for this labor, to compensate the 20 people you wanted to hire. So what I'm trying to tell you is, like, you work. You have to, if you're in the matrix and you're blind to this type of knowledge, like, you have to work to receive your dollars. But what does the government do to control you? They just print theirs. You would have to work to hire an army. You would have to work to hire a police force. You would have to work. Like, if you're getting a divorce or something, you have to pay the private investigator out of funds you have worked for. But what do the controllers do? What do the leaders of the matrix do? They just print their money. They print their money and buy the military. Print their money, buy the FBI. Print their money, buy the intelligence, the CIA. Print their money. But what allows them to have that level of control to be what's accepted as money? They make a law that this is like if you ingest that and meditate that on loan, you will begin to break free from the matrix. You're like, well, how does that make any sense? You're like, why do I have to work 60 hours a week to get this little bit of money? And if you want to control people, you just print yours. Like, how is that fair? And if I print my own, I go to jail. But you can print it and control people. Yeah, that's a system of control. And then here comes the matrix mind. Well, Ken, it's always been, ain't nothing I can do about that. And that's the dumbed down matrix mind people. There's nothing I can do about that. Yeah, you're right. There's nothing you can do about it, but the Most High can give you knowledge that allow you to operate outside of that system. But people don't believe in God. They believe in a fairy tale God that's powerless, that has no power. I know it. I know it when I make videos. I know if I mention something satanic in the title of my video, more people are likely to watch it. I look at my videos with the most views on YouTube. All the ones that are talking about Freemasonry or Satan got the most views because people want to hear about Satan. People love Satan, but they don't love God. They can't worship two masters. And I get it. This world is just sad, man. And these people are walking around like drones. I'm not sure what's going on in the world right now, but I know I have been extremely tired, like comatose tired. Like anybody who hadn't had the spiritual experiences I have would have been to the doctor saying stuff like, I got no energy. I'm sleeping all the time. I can wake up from 10 hours of sleep and go right back to sleep in an hour. I haven't been wanting to do this. I haven't been wanting to do that. I only eat one time a day. Some days I don't even eat. That's how I know something is happening, man. And the whatever it is, if you want to put it in the physical terms, if you want to put it in physical terms for those of you that, and that's another one that it really, it's unfortunate that everyone thinks they know spiritual things. Everyone thinks they understand spiritual things, and they're like, oh yeah, I know I got spiritual sight, and I know I got this. Like, if you really got that stuff, you can't help but to teach others. And what really gets me is like, that's why you people that come by my channel, this is directed at you. The ones that got questions for me, I always ask you, do you feel you have spiritual sight? And they're like, oh yeah, I got spiritual sight and this, that. Well, you wouldn't have those questions. I ask you that because I'm humoring you. If you really got spiritual sight, you won't have those kind of questions. It's like a blind man asking what something looks like. And I can tell by the way you're asking the question that you don't know what you're talking about. But you can't tell a person, you can't help a person, or you can't give a person the answer when they think they know everything. Like, here's the deal, man. Here's the deal. Here's the honest deal. When you know God has spoken to you and you know how he speaks, then ask God. You don't need to ask man anymore. Ask God. Why do I say it like that? Why do I not ask people? Because I know I'm not gonna believe it unless God tell me himself. I'm not gonna believe nobody. And maybe that's my story. I didn't believe in God till God spoke to me and gave me a vision. I didn't believe in the Son of God till I met him in person and recognized who he was. It's so, I see so many everybody has the Holy Spirit, but all they have is questions and questions and no power. And that's the first thing to go. That's the first thing that went away in my life was questions. And when I say what went away was questions, was it doesn't mean I know everything. It means when the Most High has lifted the veil on you and revealed that this is a matrix, God has given you the truth, so you know the truth. So usually the questions you have are about the matrix. And if it's something I don't know about the matrix, I'm like, oh, that's just the matrix. Like, do I want to continue? I've been trying to study the matrix my entire life. Like, I know the truth. Like, I know the real. So it's kind of like when you know the truth, when you're a Secret Service agent for the Federal Reserve Bank and you know the truth of what $100 bill looks like, you know the true $100 bill. Why give all your attention to studying what all the counterfeits look like? Why drop everything you know about the truth just because a new counterfeit comes out? You got to be an expert in every aspect of the counterfeit. All you really need to do is to be able to tell them apart. Now, the truth of the Most High will never change. God's the same yesterday, today, and will be the same tomorrow. So the truth of the Most High God will never change. Satan changes his tactics. I will go back to the house with 7 other spirits more wicked than the first, and the state of that man will be worse than the last state. Like Satan always regroups and comes back and presents his lie a different way. So you can try to keep up with Satan's lies, and well, how could Satan represent this lie or represent this lie to me? Or you could just study the truth, be content with the truth, and when you know what the truth is, whenever you hear a lie or see a lie, it'll just stand out to you. It'll just stand out to you, and you'll know it's not right. I wish more people would wake up, but as more time goes on in this world, I thought I never look. I wouldn't have thought we'd have made it this long. Like, I don't know what Satan's holdup is. Well, I know what Satan's holdup is. The Most High has to take his hand off the earth so Satan can really get busy. So I don't know why Most High ain't just let this world crumble. I can think of that scripture where it was what? It was in Sodom and Gomorrah where he's talking to that prophet. And he was like, well, if there was 50 men left, would you do it? The Most High is like, no. He's like, if there was 30 left, would you do it? He's like, no. If there was 10 left, would you do it? He's like, no, when he's talking about destroying that city. So, I mean, I guess that's what it is. There's still some humans left. There's still some people that were perfect in their generations where their DNA is still all intact. I just ain't ran into them. I mean, I know Satan's got us separated, but it just is what it is, people. Telling you one thing, I'm telling you one thing. This earth is so played out. I mean, it's been played out to me for years, but it is getting so played out to where these people can't even think. But that's all I got for this one. I got a couple other messages the Most High gave me a couple weeks ago rolling around in my mind. I need to put out soon, and I will. But as usual, I think I'm going to use this format from now on. It allows me to put a banner and a message on the screen. If you guys wish to donate to the ministry, you'll see the Cash App, PayPal link in the description. And also, if you want to contact me, there's you can download the application Telegram, and my username is in that banner at the bottom of the screen too. Kingdom Living 144K. But that's all I got, people. Till next time, stay equipped in the full armor of God, covered with the blood, filled with the Spirit, in the name of the Son, and the power of the true living God. This is still the end times, and I'm KP. I'm out. Peace.